Salute everyone,
Hello.
and welcome to the first martial arts class I have attempted. So we'll see how it goes. To give you a little background, I am about 1 year, a little more than 1 year into a traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu system that focuses on like combat and self-defense. And I was attracted to it because it has a lot of higher ideals behind it in terms of what it focuses on. And so I found a lot of relationships to the mission in the system specifically. It got me interested. And I'm a green belt at this point, so nothing special, but hopefully I can teach a little bit, at least. So what I want to do, it's really impossible to get really into much depth in just an hour of the first time. So what I want to do is I want to go through a few things that are related to the mission, like go through a few special things that fit with the mystical paths in the first seal. And then I'll show you at the end, and we'll practice a little bit, one of the things that really impressed me about the system. My teacher calls them the great equalizers. They're things that anybody can do to anybody else. So we'll go to that. But first, we're going to do some other stuff. Some stuff that may not seem martial artsy, but is very related to the way we learn a lot of the things. But we'll start off with a warm-up, okay? So we're going to be using our bodies, so there's a standard warm-up that he teaches us. I'm not sure all of it will apply, so I'll try to do it as best as possible. So let's start with just some moving in place, or some if you can do jumping jacks, do some jumping jacks. If just moving in place otherwise. So just to get us really careful. Just whatever will warm you up just a little bit. You know, just move around a little bit. Just get you warm. Okay. Now we start with the feet. So roll around and loosen up the feet. One way, other way, other foot. There's a stretch that we learn where you turn the foot over like this, and you stretch the ankle itself, if that makes any sense. It's not in front where you're stretching the foot, but it's over, and you can feel the stretch in your ankle. It helps a lot. Other foot. It's a nice stretch. And they actually, every piece of the warm-up in the system ends up being part of the practice as well. So they teach us how to, you know, like prepare again, stuff like that. Okay, let's move on. Let's move up to the knees. So get with your knees, and we'll do small circles. One way. And the other way. Up to the hips, same thing. Small circles. One right. And the other way. Okay, now sides. So the way they teach us to do this is head over, stretching to the side. We go 1, 2, and then switch. 3, 4, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now twists. 1, just like this, back and forth. However best you can do it to try to get a stretch, you know, to the side. Yeah, back and forth. Now shoulders. Up, and we're going to go forward. Careful, Sabna. And backwards. And I don't know if you're noticing, but in every single one of these movements that we're doing, my knees are never straight. That's the first thing that they teach us in martial arts. If you are fighting someone and their knees are straight, you know they're not trained. Because the easiest thing to do is to knock your knees out when they're straight. They're always bent. Even when we say we're in high center, it means very slightly bent, but always bent a little bit. It's, yeah, and exactly. Okay, neck circles. So. And other way. Okay. Now hands. Shake out the hands. Go up, down. Side to side. Forward circles. And backwards circles. Whatever feels good, loosen it up. Okay, one last exercise. It's full body circles. We call them trunk circles. Starting at the top, we go all the way around and then back. And again, do each of these exercises based on what feels right and good. Don't hurt yourself. None of this should be painful. But the whole point is to stretch the whole back, basically, and get the whole body moving. What's up? Face this way? Oh, come this way? Okay, and then yeah, just shake out, just make sure that you feel loose. Okay, so in martial arts and in defending yourself and facing opponents, one thing that is extremely important is actually energy. Being able to feel your own energy and the energy of your partner or your opponent to tell where it's going and where you want to go. Every single decision you make in a situation is a choice, basically, as how you want to match their energy with your own, either redirecting it, meeting it head on, moving to the side. Each one of these is a choice, and each one can be useful in different situations. But in order to make those decisions, you have to be able to feel the energy. So, if you punch it, so Sadhana, just don't just punch me, right, exactly. So her energy is moving this way at that moment, right? And I have a couple of options. So punch at me. I can go up. At that point, I'm moving forward into her energy, and she's moving up that way. Right? Try again. I can go to the side. Now I have an opportunity to pull her this way if I wanted to. So her energy is moving this way already. I can use that to make her go somewhere. And if you do it again, I can go backwards, right? But each of these is based on the understanding that her energy is moving this way, and my energy can do what I want it to do. And I have to be able to feel both of those in order to make a better decision in combat than simply what most people might do, which is, who knows, but similar things. But the more fluid you get in being able to feel energy, the more you are able to make those kinds of decisions. So an exercise we use to help develop harmony and that feeling is something called, we call it Tiger Walks the Elephant. And it's a partner exercise that, so Anandama, may I? Okay, so the idea of this exercise is for you to feel my energy and follow me, and for me to feel your energy and lead you. So your hand goes next to my hand on the other side, like this. It's a soft touch. You're not trying to hold on, you're just trying to follow. And wherever my hand goes, your hand goes with it. And you try to keep that touch. So, and then your body starts moving with it. So you can move around, walk around, as I walk you around. Okay? And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to feel where I'm going to go and what my energy is doing, and at the same time responding to it in a way. And so I can do all sorts of things. I can bring you down. I can go straight forward into you. You have to back up. I can bring you back. I can make you think I'm going forward, and then I move this way. You see? And that's why it's called Tiger Walks the Elephant, because it's an ultimate form. I'm the tiger, she's the elephant.
It's like a
And
dance.
it is kind of like a dance. But it's also, in its ultimate form, sort of a battle. Because you're not trying to lose them completely. It has to be some sort of harmony between them, but you're trying to make it hard on the opponent. On the other. You have the center, and you're able to move wherever you like, basically. And they have to really push to keep up. But the more efficient they are, the more they can feel your energy, the more that they're able to do so without breaking their center and leaving themselves vulnerable. But for now, we're just going to work on the harmony itself. It's a lot harder than it sounds, because what you're trying not to do is, puja. So, arm to arm. Now start leading me around. However you like. You lead me. So you move.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now see how my hand is light? I'm sort of just trying to follow along where you're going. Now if I get my hand really rigid and I start trying to hold on to where you're going, I can't feel what you're doing anymore. I'm just fighting you the whole time, right? This is a very common mistake for people when they're first starting. So Tahira, lead me around. You feel how rigid I am?
Yeah.
Now, it may feel like this is strong for me to do this, but I have no idea what you're going to do. I can't feel you. If I let you go, now I can tell what you're doing. And I have to respond to it. Okay? Okay, so we have 4 people. So each of us grab the person next to you, and all you're trying to do is decide who's going to be the leader and who's going to be the follower, and just get used to it. It's going to be a strange experience. Just move the other person around, and you try to harmonize with them, and they try to harmonize with you, and try to feel the energy that each of you is doing. Okay? So partner up. Decide who's going first. Okay, go ahead. And watch your surroundings also. Don't forget there are sharp things around you and such. And if you haven't already, go ahead and switch persons.
Yes.
So, I mean, whoever's following before now, they.
Yeah, you lead.
I don't think that works.
Isn't it cool? Wow, I'm taking over.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. Handle any injuries. Okay. What did you guys think about that? Did you get at the beginning of the idea of what I'm saying? Just a little bit. So, let's see.
As a leader, you have to know what you're doing, kind of?
Yeah. So, like one thing that this, and this is totally natural for beginners, is when I was watching both of your groups, I couldn't tell who was the leader, if that makes any sense. And that's natural. That's what happens in the beginning, because both of you are very uncertain about what you're doing. But the more and more used to it that you get, so Sadhana, leave me for a second. And see, yeah, and so now let me lead you. Is there any question? Sorry, I know that you can handle it. Is there any question about who is leading in this situation?
No.
Right? Yeah. Good job. Yeah. So the more confident you get with it, the more you're able to do that. And so the point is that it's just like the teachings, basically. You know, we talk about the movement of energy and the focus. And a lot of things in martial arts are not that different from yoga, for example, and things like that. It deals with the movement of energy. The difference is that it's not just dealing with your energy, it's dealing with your energy and your surroundings' energy and your opponent's energy. So you have to get a sense of everything that's going on around you and what your opponent is doing in order to be able to properly respond to situations. But it's still energy. It's about that flow of movement, it's about their intention. And that comes out in prana and things like that. Essentially, it's the same idea.
Yeah, so in following, you have to surrender, kind of.
Yes, exactly.
In leading, you have to know what to do.
Exactly. That's a very difficult thing. Oh.
There you go.
That's a very difficult thing for people to realize, which is that, and this is another natural thing, that when you first have two people fighting each other, they're both going directly at each other at the same time. But it's that same thing. Ma, if you punch at me. Yeah, so if I block you forward, now our energy is both going at each other, right? You're attacking me, I'm attacking you. Now it's a battle of strength. Who's stronger, right? Whoever is stronger is going to win. Is going to win this battle. But you can take advantage of the fact that they are moving this way by surrendering to it. It's the same idea, you know. So if you punch at me, and I bring you this way, suddenly your energy is added to my energy. It's not about who's stronger. If you're stronger, that's great. I'm using you to take you where I want. The second thing that I wanted to show you has to do with breathing and the breath, because you know how important the breath is in what the mission teaches. The focus on it in meditation, the focus on it in yoga, how it aligns everything you're doing. It's exactly the same in martial arts. Not only is it important in order to align your body and intention, it also actually will, if you're thrown or you fall and you exhale as you hit the ground, you will protect yourself much more than if you just land. Similarly, if you're hit and you're exhaling at the time, you're tightening everything up, and so you will protect yourself more than if you're not. And if you're striking or defending or anything like that, the exhalation at that moment gives you the intention, and it strengthens and makes you denser, basically. So different martial arts provide different ways on how to do this. I went to a traditional Shaolin Kung Fu class, and they taught us to just breathe naturally and deeply like yoga. And they said, because their style is very fluid, they're not stopping, they're always hitting and stuff like that, and so they're not like breathing at every moment, they're breathing naturally throughout it, but the focus is still very much on the breath. In our system, they teach us to understand and align the breath through those sounds. Do you know what I'm saying? They're called kiyais. The st, or the heist, and that kind of stuff. And so there's multiple purposes. Everything in martial arts has multiple purposes. And so there are various kinds of those sounds. One of the obvious purposes is intimidation. If I strike at puja, I mean, that's scary, but heist is more scary, a lot more scary. Especially if you're not expecting it from, a guy that looks not that scary. So it helps. It helps in intimidation. It helps in focusing your intention. Everyone knows that I am ready to strike, you know, and my intention is focused on that person. But what it also does is it aligns the breath. It aligns the breath with what you're doing because you're taught to exhale at every moment. And so it's not the same as meditation where you're taught to breathe, you know, naturally, but what you're really doing is you're aligning the breath with every piece of what you're doing. It's the same exact thing, and it's done through the use of the ki. So it doesn't have to be crazy, but I want to go back to that movement we did just before. The tiger walks the elephant. I want you guys to take it really slow. It doesn't have to be fast. Do it really, really slow. But the idea is every time you make a decision, when you decide to move them this way, exhale. And so you align the breath with your intention. My intention, I make a decision. My intention is to go this way. I'm going to switch. Okay? And so therefore you align another piece of yourself with what you're ending up doing. The more pieces of yourself are aligned, the more you're one in your intention, and the more powerful the result will be. Okay? So partner up again. You can do a different partner if you want. Yes?
Question, what about the other person? How should they be breathing when they're going?
Excellent idea. Excellent point. Try to see what feels natural. When I am responding, I usually end up ki-ing when they switch positions on me, directions on me, and I have to change. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going this way and they suddenly take me that, I'm like, you know, because I have to move back. So again, it's about aligning. So when you make a decision to change movements based on what they're doing, you also exhale. The exhale should be aligned with the decision, with the intention. Okay? So same partners if you want, or switch it up, no problem. And switch partners, switch partners.
Okay.
Okay, so go really slow. Go like 30% of what you were before. It's, you know, make it almost like Tai Chi or something like that. Go ahead. Careful. It's my job to make sure you guys are. Yeah, go ahead and switch if you have it. Leader becomes follower, follower becomes leader. I hear you breathing, and I hear you breathing.
All right. I'm supposed to be watching him too.
I know. This is why it's a lot of stuff to think about at once. You're doing fine. Okay, sounds good. Did that make any sense to you guys? It probably didn't the first time, you know, I'll be honest with you, but that's the idea. Let's do one more thing, similar idea. Now it's an individual thing, we're going to punch, okay? Don't worry about the technique, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's worry about the focus and the intention. Consider the fact that, like, try to imagine, put yourself in the position that someone is actually threatening you, and you feel like you need to respond. And so you are trying to attack them and intimidate them. And this is going to be maybe not usual. You get used to it after a while. But I want you to exhale as intimidatingly as possible with that sort of ki. You know, so you know, like I said, there are different kinds of ki's. When I'm just moving into something, I'm going and stuff like that. But when I punch, heist, you know, it's very different. And so it's a just try it. Just try it. So facing me.
Or you want to get all the energy.
Just like this. Just like this. You're punching the air. But imagine that there was somebody you actually had to intimidate. And so forget about us, forget about, you know, social norms. You have to defend yourself. exhale, use that ki to intimidate. 3, 2, 1. Again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm going to stop so I can hear you. 3, 2, 1. Good, good. You're getting that. Okay, 2 more. 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Now, real mouth. Scare me. 3, 2, 1. Good. Excellent. 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 That's a start. That's a start. So again, I was impressed because that's the first seal. Once again, so now we have movement, we have harmony, we have energy, we have breath. Not that different, actually. And it fits. So what are we at? Half an hour? Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Let's do some things. So our system, the system that I am following, it's not a sports system. There are no competitions or anything like that. And that means that unlike a lot of systems, they teach us things that would be illegal in most other systems. Not because they're like exceptionally dangerous, just because they're kind of dirty. They're dirty tricks. They're useful. Yes. Oh,
No.
okay. They're extremely useful, but they're not taught in a lot of systems because of that. And so, and my teacher loves these because, as I said, he calls them the great equalizers. They're things that really anyone can do to anybody because they're not about strength, they're about technique. So we're going to do some finger locks, okay? And that means attacking the fingers to cause pain such that you would submit your opponent. It's, okay? Okay, so I'm going to start with a thumb, and I need a volunteer. And I'm not going to do it hard, and what you do is you tap once it hurts, basically. Anyone interested? Okay. So, the technique is executed, if you come over here so you guys can see it. The technique is executed like this, and I'll go through the steps, but this is the full thing. And so tap when it hurts. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so with more strength, I would input my center into it as well.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So the technique is executed like this. 1, this hand as a straight, rigid bar fits into her thumb. Perpendicular.
Tightly.
So, not like this, how you have it, but perpendicular. There you go, like that. This thumb curls around the knuckle, the bone down here. Okay? I'm sorry, the camera probably can't really see this, but that's okay. That's okay. And then, it's a small circle. It's a pushing movement on this side and a pulling movement on the other side. So, I'm pushing with this part, and I'm pulling with this part, and I'm doing a small circle, like that. And I'm not, I'm just a green belt, so if this is not hurting as much as it should, it's probably true. But that's the idea. Okay, let me do it to each person, just so they can feel what it feels like. Okay, so, here, roll it around, tap when it hurts.
Ouch.
Oh, tap. Okay. Sounds good. Did you feel that? Did you feel what I was doing a little bit? So here, around, press. Hi. Here, cross, press, in and out. Feel it? So if you really apply that, you can put somebody on their knees, just by that, Okay, so we're going to try it. Okay, so once again, the steps are, this hand has to be rigid and straight. This part fits into this side of the thumb, perpendicular, 90 degrees. This thumb curls around the joint, and then you do a small circle where you're pushing in with this side and out with this side, like that. Both. Exactly. Okay. So now I'm going to give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes to experiment because it's something. And so guys, hold on a second before you start. Just to be sure, do it slowly. Focus on the technique, and your recipient, the person that you're doing it on, tap as soon as it hurts. We're not trying to hurt each other. This is just to test something out and try it. Okay? So just do it slowly and lightly. Experiment to see until you get it. Tell each other if it's more or less effective, and just try it. And I'll see what you guys are doing.
So this part and this part.
So go ahead.
I try you. Okay, and then you did. Right.
Like that.
Wasn't it like ice?
Use the other hand to grab right on the wrist. It helps.
And Isaac's hurt here, here's hurts here.
Right.
Getting there. Okay, so you have this right.
Yeah.
Now this thumb curls around. Yep.
There you go.
There it is.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah. So you're pressing in with this.
Is that, it's easy.
Isn't it?
Just
Right.
eye.
And you can twist the hand a little bit as well as you're doing it to get it in.
These are straight. That one is
So-
pressing. This is, yeah.
Grab her wrist with the other hand. It helps to
And
stabilize.
then you got it.
There you go, yeah. That was
Look good.
about it.
Yes.
So can you do it on your side?
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
You could.
Sure you could. But you don't hurt yourself as much because
You know what you're doing.
you know.
Mhm.
You.
You can feel it. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Just keep experimenting. You can go back and forth. You can do a couple at once.
Another hand, maybe? Another hand.
Okay, so you're not, see, so you
Wide out.
gotta be 90 degrees. You gotta be straight on. Yes. And then this guy curls around. That looks better. And then this one presses in as you sort of twist the hand around.
Yeah, Isaac is good at pushing this one around.
Around more.
Around and up.
That's better. That was better, yeah.
It's not an easy one to get. It's not an easy one to get.
How come I feel hurt? It hurts over here when she does me.
I'm
Well,
good at
with you, I
pushing.
hear,
I'm
feel
good
it
at
here.
pushing this, and you're good at pushing this one.
Do it to me. Do it to me. Let me see.
Down and then like this.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, interesting.
You understand?
So actually, you're sort of pressing into the joint itself. That would also work. Well, it's because you have a strong grip. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do,
You see,
go back.
Mhm.
Okay, now
So
Bring-
around-
bring these up. Yeah. Now, so as you're pressing this one down, twist this one around. Yes. More like that. Exactly. So.
Okay, it's twisted the hand.
Yeah, so it's a small circle. It's these, a lot of these are called small circle movements. They're you got them on both sides. You're pressing, and then you're performing a small circle with your hand. It's not you're not like there's a difference between moving the hand as a whole. I'm not moving your hand.
Right,
I'm just doing a small circle right there.
right there.
So it's just like this.
That was it. You wanna try? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
It has to be straight.
It has to be, how'd you call it?
Perpendicular, 90 degrees.
Perpendicular.
Your hand, 90 degrees.
Oh,
Yeah.
no wonder I couldn't get around.
There you
I
go.
thought my
Mhm.
hand shrunk.
That circle tight.
Right.
Getting better?
Okay, I
Yeah. Yeah, keep on going. A couple more minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. My left hand.
Yes.
It's strange, I'm expecting, we didn't do that much. Yeah.
No, it's this one. This is the
Oh, guys. 90 degrees this way.
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Here.
Right. Yes, it's 90 degrees.
So it's like, you notice how the women like to stretch their fingers. They're dainty.
Okay, next one. So my teacher teaches in a series, which I'll show you after. So the next one is if, say their hands, so I mean you can only do this if their thumb is out. And the first thing our teacher teaches us is never have your thumbs out for exactly that reason. So that we're always like this. Our thumbs are tightly against the side to try to prevent anybody from doing that to us. So what if somebody is coming at you in a fist, which is not that uncommon, actually. So, volunteer again. No? Tara?
What is this?
Alright. So, if you come at me with a fist, I can't do my thumb. I can't do your thumb. But I can do this. On your thumb, similarly. Now, tell me when it hurts, because this one hurts like crazy. Yeah?
Yeah, I
Feel it?
see.
Mhm. Feel it. So, you're pressing the, here.
You straighten her,
Let's do it like this. So, here. So the way this one works is it has to do with when her thumb is bent in like this, and I basically take advantage of that. I put my finger next to her finger, and my thumb on the other side, and I press together. Can you feel that? So, to each person, let me show you.
Okay.
It is this finger comes aligned with that finger.
Mm-hmm.
Then my thumb comes here, and I press it in.
All right,
Feel
yeah.
that?
Yeah, yeah. That nerve ending there,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm. The thumb is not supposed to hop. You're learning, all right. You're learning.
Lies.
I have to move on to the third one now. This is the way he teaches the secrets, though. I put my hand out, he does that one. I say, oh, I better put my fist like this. He does that one. Oh, I'll put my thumb in. He does that one. You know, oh, I'll just have my hand open. He does this one. So there's several different ones. So let me show you. So fist, hand aligned right here, goes across. My other thumb goes on the end of his thumb, and I press. You feel that one? Tell me one.
Now.
Now. Finger, like this, against her thumb. Other hand here. Ah, she's making it hard on me. Can you feel it? Are you tapping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So again, it's this one. It's very easy to get once like it's an easy one to do. It hurts. It's just it's. But what you're doing basically is you're locking your finger against the thumb so that it can't move. And then the other finger, your thumb, goes on the other side, you press together. So the thumb just can't bend that way, basically.
Actually, you can do it on yourself.
Yes, this one is when you can definitely do it yourself. Yeah. So just imagine if you got somebody in this one. I mean, will they want to fight you anymore? If you're just slamming down on this, they would be on their knees. I promise you. It hurts. Okay, so partners again, and back and forth. Try it on each other, and I'm not sure I will explain this one. So let's see. So yeah, so let's take it step by step.
Right, yeah.
So these go here.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect.
And it's going to be here, and this goes here.
Mhm. And to make it easier, Alice, just for now, leave the finger right there.
From the bone.
Mhm.
Like that.
Okay.
You
Okay.
try to press that ending from there.
Okay, so yeah, this one is weird. So it's this side of your finger goes on the thumb. So right here goes here.
Oh, this?
Mhm. Like this.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, then you can.
Mhm. Hold on, it goes like this.
Okay.
See? Like that. You are aligning
Easy
like
for
this.
you. I change hand.
So in your case, you would be using actually
Right.
this hand. You're using the wrong hand.
Oh, okay.
So
No
there you go.
wonder it's not
Yes.
fitting.
So it's on the
Yes.
side.
Okay, so this and this,
Actually,
we're matching this
yeah.
part of the fingers
On the side.
together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and here.
This side.
Right.
You're on the front. You see that? You know what I mean?
Oh,
So your fingers go on their side.
like this?
Like that. Like this. You make your fingers rigid on the sides.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Okay, and then you
You
push
press
up
it.
here.
Exactly. And Sadhana is being smart and not letting
Yeah.
the thumb go over here. So
Oh,
if
right, right.
Sadhana's thumb is right there, that would make it easier to do. So
Okay, okay.
try one more time.
That's very
Yeah,
important.
that was the nerve ending there.
There it is. Yep. So good. You guys, that one hurts, huh?
We're fine.
Are we good? All right. All is well. Okay. And there are others. There is this one. You know, you have one hand. Another one. Yeah. You have one hand on this side. You have the other hand on this side. You press up. You have this one. I mean, you can do both. Or pull them out. And this is the kind of thing that they teach us. So, for example, one of the most popular ones that he has us do is if someone grabs for me, volunteer.
Like this?
Like this or?
If you were saying you were just trying to grab my shirt, you know what I mean? So if I bring you here, I intertwine, and then I bring you this way. You see? So now I have this position where I'm pressing in with my fingers and up. And I don't want to... You can feel that though, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's these kinds of things where it doesn't matter how strong you are, or how weak you are, how big you are, how small you are. Those things will hurt, and they will take a person down. It takes practice, of course. It takes a lot of training. You know, if some big burly guy is punching at you, it's terrifying to be able to think about that kind of complexity of movement. But I mean, there's a 90-pound girl in our class. She's, you know, tiny, and she does these things. She can defend herself. You know, I mean, nobody's going to expect that suddenly their hand is on fire, you know, and they can't really function because they are really, really, really hurting. So that's what these are about. And there are all sorts of ones. There are finger locks, there are wrist locks, there are joint locks, you know, elbow locks, shoulder locks, there are chokes, there are knee locks, there are toe locks, there are ankle locks. So every single piece of the body can be attacked. And it can be done so using technique rather than strength. And so it equalizes things, basically. It's mostly what I wanted to show you guys. I was very impressed by that when I was taught, because what he teaches basically is that you start out focused on strength. Then you learn what he calls 9 other sources of power. Breath power, and learning the principles of action and reaction, learning the principles of deception, learning the principles of I forget. Lots of other stuff, you know. And he says there are 9 other sources of power that are not strength. And you learn those 9, and then you add strength. And with those 10 altogether, you have what's called focus power, or shuchuryoku, it's the Japanese term. And all 10 of those together in alignment is a very powerful thing, basically. So, but you know, strength is only one of them. There are 9 other things that anybody can learn to better strengthen and defend themselves. I mean, like I said, this girl has been with us for a year. She's literally 90 pounds. She's like 4 feet tall. She's from the Philippines. And I mean, she throws me, you know. She's not a joke anymore. She's learned some of these abilities, yeah. Any questions? Anything that you'd like to know more? I hope this was interesting, at least.
Very good.
Anything?
That's it.
That's what I had to show. You know, we're almost at the end of our time, so if you guys, I don't know, just want to...
How long do you keep taking these courses, classes?
It depends on how dedicated you want to be. You know, in our system there are about 6 or 7 belts until black, and then there are 10 degrees of black. It's a lifetime thing if you really want to develop. And the more, like, I mean, people who really want to be like high-level black belts, they'll practice every day for years, basically. The teacher right now is telling me that I will never go beyond green because I refuse to come in on Saturdays, for example. So, you know, exactly. But I'll be planning on continuing going at least during school, because I get it for free at the school. And I don't know. They don't teach you just how to fight. They teach you how to disengage. They teach you how to protect yourself if you are thrown or punched. You know, we spend a lot of time on what's called break falls, basically. So principles of how to fall correctly. You know, so say that, say Ma, you don't like me, and you're behind me, and you just push me forward.
Okay.
Push me forward. So a normal person probably like, you know, and their head's in trouble, right? We're taught to do this. You know, and stuff like that. So it protects yourself, basically. The same thing if we're fighting each other, you can push me forwards.
Oh, push
Push me this way.
Oh,
Same kind of thing, right? So instead of just falling backwards, if I am pushed backwards in such a way that I have to defend myself, push me back. You see? You defend yourself with the hit, yeah, exactly. And you use, so the practices. And so if you're all hitting at the same time, you spread the energy out so that you're not just breaking your arm or your hand. You defend yourself by spreading it out over as wide of an area as possible. So we learn how to fall, and then how to fight if necessary, is the idea. So I recommend it if you're ever interested, to you and to your children and all of that. So, okay, that's it. So,